One of Scottsbluff County's first revenge porn cases go to trial, and a swift guilty verdict for the defendant. KNEB.TV News starts right now.
From your trusted source for news in western Nebraska and eastern Wyoming, this is KNEB.TV News. Presented by Platte Valley Companies, premier provider of financial services.
Hello, I'm Ryan Murphy. This is KNEB.TV News, powered by Platte Valley Companies. Thanks for joining me. In our top story, it took a jury just 1 hour to find a Scottsbluff man guilty of one of the county's first revenge porn cases to go to trial. On Tuesday, a Scottsbluff County District Court jury found 38-year-old William Zitterkopf II guilty on a Class 2A felony charge of distribution of an intimate image without consent. Court records said the victim had the sexual encounter with Zitterkopf and recorded video without her knowledge, and later began sharing it with acquaintances and threatening to share it even more. He could face up to 20 years in prison when he's sentenced on this charge on June 13th. He's also facing felony weapons and drug charges in a separate Kimball County case. Sticking with the courts now is a 37-year-old Gering man charged with 5 counts of first-degree sexual assault of a child is set to stand trial next week. Jordan Long was arrested following a Gering Police Department investigation where the juvenile victim told forensic investigators that the assaults began when she was 4 years old. Long's trial is currently slated to begin Tuesday, April 11th, and if convicted, each count carries a mandatory minimum of 20 years imprisonment. We'll have more news right after this.
Swipe right, swipe left, endlessly searching. Finding the perfect match isn't always perfect, but it can be when it comes to finances. Nora found the perfect business loan. Jenny opened her first savings account. Grammy loves her checking account. We found a match for Wilson Farms. The Sandersons were matched with a mortgage. Regardless of your financial situation, Platte Valley Bank will match you with the perfect solution. Find your match at Platte Valley Bank.
Welcome back. Nebraska's newest U.S. Senator was in the Panhandle yesterday. Pete Ricketts was on hand for a ribbon-cutting ceremony for his Scottsbluff Senate office grand opening. He says this facility will be a go-to stop for his constituents for a wide variety of services.
I'm excited to have the opportunity to be able to continue to serve Nebraskans in the U.S. Senate, and we are announcing that we're going to continue to have the office here in the same place it was before, so it'll make it easy for people to be able to find when they need help. Cassie Nichols is going to continue to run the office here. She has been running it. Cassie, how long have you been running the office now?
14 years.
14 years.
You're my third great senator.
Yeah. Senators come and go, but Cassie sticks around. So the great news for Nebraskans is because Cassie's got so much experience, she'll be able to help everybody who needs that help with the federal bureaucracy. She knows who to call, how to help manage some of these situations when people run into, say, a brick wall with regulations or something like that. Cassie will be able to help us.
Governor Jim Pillen appointed Ricketts to the Senate seat back in January following Ben Sassa's resignation to become the next president of the University of Florida. Well, road work is slated to begin this week on a 10-mile stretch of I-80 near the Nebraska-Wyoming border. The Nebraska Department of Transportation says the work near Bushnell will include replacing eastbound and westbound lanes. Traffic will be maintained with head-to-head traffic in the open lanes, and a 12-foot width restriction will be in effect. The anticipated completion date is this October, and motorists are reminded to drive cautiously in and around work zones, buckle up, and put those phones down. And after falling below growth neutral for 3 straight months, The Creighton University Mid-America Business Condition Index has now expanded for 2 consecutive months, but the March reading did fall from the prior month. Economics professor Dr. Ernie Goss says after flashing recession warning signals, the index hit 50.8 last month, still pointing towards growth, but down more than 5 points from February. He believes what we're seeing now is a rolling recession, according to the latest BCI readings.
We're seeing a recession definitely in housing, office construction, very difficult times there, particularly in downtown office buildings across the region. Financial activities, some real issues there with banking, of course, but also some of the other related finance organizations, those individuals that have jobs in finance.
Goss says we're still seeing excessive inflationary pressures at the wholesale level, with too much inflation still in the pipeline despite a decrease in the National Producer Price Index last month. He says a key indicator is the bond market, and if the yield on the U.S. moves back above 4%, you could say that the fear of a recession is diminishing, but the fear of inflation will continue to grow.
The birds are singing. They know that spring is almost here, a time for renewal. Renewal by Andersen Windows, that is. It's almost spring, and if you've suffered through another winter in a cold, drafty house with worn-out old windows, now's the time to invest in the best windows you can get from Renewal by Andersen. Wouldn't it be great to let some fresh spring air in that house with windows that actually open smoothly, make your house quiet, secure, and save you a ton of money on energy bills? Please scan that QR code, visit rbawyoming.com. Spring is the time for Renewal by Andersen.
Now, sports from the FNBO Sports Desk. FNBO, the great big small bank.
Catching up with a couple of student athletes who have finalized college decisions. During state basketball week over at Gering High School, it was senior Seacats swimmer Maddox Janacek signing to stay in the pool at Nebraska Wesleyan. I was finally able to talk with Janacek earlier this week to get the lowdown on that decision.
Did some campus tours of a couple of the colleges that wanted me, and when I went there, everything kind of just clicked for where I was supposed to end up. It had the best academics for me, and I got to keep swimming, so felt like that was where I was supposed to end up.
Janacek now walks us through his main events and some of the highlights from his career with the Seacats.
My main event was the 100 breaststroke. I placed on the podium at almost every single meet for that. At our Greater Nebraska Athletic Conference meet, I got second, and then I swam some of the freestyle events, and then our relays did really well this year. Highlights were for sure qualifying for state in all 3 relays with my teammates.
As a senior, Janacek had a new head coach in Vanessa Woolsey, and he credits her leadership for plenty of the individual and team success that the Seacats had.
She definitely handled it the best she could. I said that this was for sure the hardest season, like effort-wise for us. Like our workouts were harder. All of us were more exhausted than usual, but that's good. That's what you want because it means training's working and you're tired. And then obviously everything paid off when we went to state and all of us had PRs in our splits and had some of the best performances of our careers.
Maddox Janacek signing with Wesleyan Swimming. He's also got a clear plan for his academics as he heads east after the school year wraps up. A noted Atlanta Braves fan. He could give you the 411 on his favorite team. He caught me up on some of their young pitching, and their outstanding squad, Matic Janacek, making that next decision as far as college and swimming. The more recent of the two signings was middle of last week over at Scottsbluff High School. Already had the write-up on the website. You might have seen it there. Bearcat senior football player Michael Thrash signing to continue his career on the gridiron at Northwestern College in Iowa.
Definitely the fact that they just kept in touch with me all throughout season, always checking up on me and stuff. And then I was already familiar with the town. I've done multiple camps there. And then obviously the fact that Tyson signed there was pretty motivating to go there for sure.
Thrash mentioned his teammate and classmate, that's Tyson Klein. Klein signed with Northwestern College earlier during the signing period. Northwestern won the NAIA National Championship this past year, so Thrash goes from one winning program to another.
It prepared me really well because just that winning culture and that same intensity, it'll carry over into the fact of college and college football, especially at Northwestern because they already have that culture built up. I got to talk with some players, and it sounds like a good community to be around.
Scottsbluff head coach Judd Hall says Thrash's versatility is going to serve him well when he steps into a college football program.
Mike's a total team guy. Started in our program as a fullback, ended up on the offensive line. So a guy that we've asked to do multiple things for us, and he said, yes, whatever I need to do to make the team better. So a total team guy, a guy that's able to step in on some special teams. I think that kind of goes unnoticed going into the college level, a guy that has the ability to long snap.
Scottsbluff's Michael Thrash signing last week to play football at NAIA Power Northwestern College in the state of Iowa. The weather finally turning, and the Cougar baseball team looking forward to warmer temperatures for their home series this weekend against McCook. Cougars split at Garden City in Kansas earlier this week, and they'll enter the weekend at 4-12 right now in conference play. Doubleheader tomorrow, set for a 1 o'clock start, then a noon game on Saturday. McCook, as you see, comes in really on a roll of late. That is the latest for today from right here at the FNBO Sports Desk. I'm Chris Cottrell.
Morrill County Community Hospital and the behavioral health providers are here to help. Amber Dean specializes in mental health care, which includes medication and therapy across a person's lifespan. Melody Lacey helps people deal with a wide range of behavioral problems, from depression and anxiety to child psychiatry. Our dedicated team is committed to you and our community every time. At Morrill County Community Hospital, Bridgeport, Nebraska. Exceptional care right here at home.
Well, let's take a look what's happening on today's community calendar. The community calendar is brought to you by Riverstone Bank. Community strong with the people you know and trust.
Culture trumps everything else.
In my years, I've never worked for a company that treats people the way this one does.
It is my passion for agriculture that brought me here in the first place, but not only that, there's a huge family-oriented atmosphere within the 21st Century Equipment.
I love working for 21st. They found something in me that I didn't know in myself. An intern to where I'm at now is such a great opportunity, and that is what this company is about.
At Platte Valley Bank, we want to help you plan for tomorrow while you enjoy today. Our personalized trust services can help you do just that. You've worked hard to build your legacy, and you want to make sure that gets passed on for generations to come. We offer the professional guidance necessary to ensure that happens, according to your wishes. We pride ourselves in being friendly and professional while offering a highly tailored full line of trust and estate planning services to accommodate you. You belong here.
And finally tonight, engineering work for the Broadway River Bridge project is about 90% complete, and the project is soon expected to go out to bid. Scottsbluff County Road Supervisor Steve Baird gave the board an update on the project's Monday night, with much of the discussion centering around that specific improvement. Baird told commissioners when those repairs do finally get underway, construction crews will be closing off one span at a time.
They will close it off because that's going to be the easiest way to do a whole deck repair rather than try to one lane it. Because the traffic's always going to be moving that deck as you're trying to pour new concrete and all that. So it'll just be closed off from the southbound traffic, the west one. And, they'll have to either detour over to Avenue I or over to 21st Avenue to go around if they need to get the gearing, for that time period.
Board members said they have received a request to have the project include an expansion of the existing sidewalk to allow a full bike path, but Baird said doing so would be difficult and cost much more than the budgeted amount allows. He said there could be some gains in space depending on allowable construction of the railings and barrier protecting from traffic, but it would be more along the lines of inches instead of feet. Well, that does it for us this time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe out there. We'll see you here next time.